Just 6 months after AMC Theatres announced a new plan to do price upcharging on the best seats in the theater, as well as discounted prices on the absolute worst seats in the theater, they're ending the entire initiative. We criticized it at the time, and thankfully most people had no more interest in this thing than we did back then. What they originally said was that preferred seats would be located in the middle of the theater. They would cost a slight premium fee in contrast to its least costly value tier for seats in the parking lot. I'm kidding, front row. While the standard tier would cost the same amount as the traditional ticket and would cover the majority of the seating options. So they released this statement. Competitors did not match either initiative of raising or lowering prices based on the location of the seats. To ensure that our ticket prices remain competitive, the Sightline at AMC pilot program will come to an end at participating locations in the coming weeks, and the initiative will not roll out nationwide. And so they had this complicated thing where they tracked people who are part of the AMC Stubs membership program to see if they changed their behavior based on the more expensive or less expensive tickets. And it turned out to not be a moneymaker. And on its face, I found it to be like personally insulting. I know other people spoke out against it. Elijah Wood at the time said, the movie theater is and always has been a sacred democratic space for all. And this new initiative by AMC would essentially penalize people for lower income and reward for higher income. And I think we can all come up with more than enough examples where you are penalized for low income and rewarded for high income. Can we just have one or two things where that's not the case? Thankfully, at least in this case, I think common sense has won out. Brett, what do you make of this?
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly with Elijah Wood. Like in history books even mention stuff like this, where like everybody can go to the movies during the Depression, during heat waves. You go there to just everybody gets to enjoy the same art. Now it's and that's what it should be. And I understand that they're trying to do this, and I understand that they run a business. I am just so ecstatic that this dumb idea was proven dumb by dispassionate algorithms that are calculating potential moneymakers. And it makes you angry in the theater. It should reward people that planned ahead. It should reward people and that's how it works, man. There's enough like weird psychology that happens about like crowd fill, when there's not assigned seats, about crowds filling in, where like everybody when they get into a theater sits an equal amount of distance apart, and then based on how far apart everybody else is, they just fill in the gaps. And so at the beginning, maybe you're like, oh, I wanted to sit in the center, but there's someone kind of near the center, so I'll sit further to the side. By the end, someone who gets there like 5 minutes before the beginning of the movie, since there's only like tiny pockets of seats, they end up sitting closer to your ideal seat and still as close to other people as you would have.
Yeah, that is weird. There used to be an online game of like there was a row of urinals, and based on who was there, you had to position what the best spot for the next guy to go to was, and there were correct answers in all cases. Anyway, no, I'm glad that they backed off of it. Love Elijah Wood. He's in the most recent season of Yellow Jackets, which I'm watching, and it's so weird to see Elijah Wood in something. It's just a treat. But yeah, look, there's already 1,000 ways in art where you pay more, you get more. In like sporting events, you get better seats or whatever. There's already a lot of things in movie theaters. If you would like to eat during it, it's gonna cost more. If you'd like a big reclining seat where you can order food there, you pay more. If you want surround sound and a big screen, you pay more. It's not that they're not doing this in a million ways, but even so, it is possible to cross that line. And I think the Sightline thing did that.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.